Alright, so let's very briefly go over the rest of everything that you need to know for history on the NLE. So we went over the story of Aeneas previously, the founding of Rome with Romulus and Remus, the 7 kings of Rome, ending with the expulsion of Tarquinius Superbus, and the establishment of the Res Publica and those heroes. You can see them here on your study guide. Horatius, Cocles, Mutius Scaevola, Cloelia, and Cincinnatus. Now, there's one thing that's not on here that you'll need to know. At around the year 200 BC, actually 241, Rome began a series of wars with Carthage. Carthage, as you know, is the great city-state that, as you can see over here, let's find my pointer, that is in northern Africa, that, remember from the Aeneid, Juno loves. So here, let's take a look at the map of the Mediterranean to gain our bearings, and it'll be like 2 for 1. So up here you have, and so here let's take a look at the geography of the Mediterranean that you're going to need to know. So over here we'll start in the far west. This is Hispania, which for the Romans, Hispania, but for us becomes modern-day Spain. Modern-day France, which is right above Italy, the Romans referred to as Gaul. Gaul. Up here, the island of Britain, this is where Davos is from. And you see that this is a river known as the Rhine River. It and the Danube River, which flows into the Black Sea, becomes the borders of the Roman Empire to Germany, the Germani. Now, Italy, of course, is the boot. And Rome is in the middle of the boot on the Tiber River, T-I-B-E-R. And it is kicking this football, which is the island of Sicily. Now, this is the city of Carthage in northern Africa, with which Rome will fight a series of 3 wars known as the Punic Wars, the second of which features the great Carthaginian general Hannibal. You can see Hannibal over here on my, whatever this thing is called, file cabinet. But that second Punic War, sometimes known as the Hannibalic War, in which finally the Romans had their own hero figure named Scipio to defeat him. Now, on the heel of the boot is the port of Brundisium, to which, from Rome, the Appian Way led. Now, Rome has its own port named Ostia, remember established by Ancus Marcius, that 4th king of Rome. And then to the east of Rome is Greece and Asia. The Romans referred to this part of Asia as the Near East, this part as the Middle East, and then way over towards China, Japan, the Far East. That's why we still use these terms to this day. Now note the islands of Crete and of Cyprus. Crete and Cyprus. Now the seas that you need to know is the Mediterranean Sea as a whole. The sea that is encompassed by these islands of Sicily, Sardinia, and Corsica is the Tyrrhenian Sea. On this side, which Brundisium lies, is the Adriatic Sea. This, of course, is the Aegean Sea, and this on top of modern-day Turkey, Asia they would call it, is the Black Sea. Greece would have Athens, Africa would have Carthage, and Egypt, Alexandria, its main city, and Rome, of course, is the main city of Italy. Now, the mountain ranges that you need to know, there are 3 of them. One is the mushroom cap of Italy. Do you see it up here? The highest mountains in all of Europe. They are the Alps, or the Alpine Mountains. As well, you have the mountain range that divides Spain from Gaul, the Pyrenees, and then finally, the backbone of Italy. Italy has a mountain range that runs down the middle, and that would be, of course, the Apennines, the Apennini, the Apennine Mountains. That's it for the most part concerning the geography to gain our bearings. Spain, Gaul, Italy, Rome, Pompeii on the Bay of Naples, Brundisium, Carthage in northern Africa, Athens in Greece, Troy right on the Hellespont, remember, and then of course Egypt down here as well, the Black Sea. Now, very quickly finishing up, remember that during this time of Hellenistic, you have the assassination of Julius Caesar in 44 BC. But then you have the establishment of the empire with the first emperor of Rome, known as Augustus. Now, when Augustus comes to power, there's then a series of emperors that are known as the Julio-Claudians. That is because they are coming from two families, the Julians and the Claudians. You don't need to know them, but some of them you've heard of, particularly the last, the fifth and final Julio-Claudian, Nero. On the NLE, basically, you need to be able to recognize when you see a name like Nero, that is an emperor, and when in the timeline. Know what occurs when. They like to say which event happens first, which event happens last. Know the timeline. But nevertheless, they continue. And by the way, your first word is Hannibal, the guy that I was talking about fighting in the Second Punic War in the 200s against Rome, in the Punic Wars. Hannibal's your first word. Moving on, your second word is Augustus, the very first emperor of Rome. But you have a series of emperors until eventually you get to near the end of Roman history, in which you obviously finally have, as the final date of the final emperor and the end of the Roman Empire, 476 AD. So Rome lasts from 753 BC, 476 AD, just to be able to recognize the names Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, Nero, Vespasian, Titus, Domitian, Nerva, Trajan, who's really one of the best, Hadrian, Marcus Aurelius, Constantine, be able to recognize them as emperors. And that's your final one. Constantine, you can see it right here, your final entry for the quiz. The fellow who was the first Roman emperor to convert to the new religion of Christianity. But by the time he comes around, Rome's only going to last for about 150 more years. And it'll finally come to an end in 476 AD. So, thanks for watching. Study.